Good morning, all you amazing people out there. I'm Wayne, and I'm an alcoholic. You don't have to identify as an alcoholic for this channel to make total sense and for the things that come out of it to be beneficial in your life. Before I go into today's video, I just want to say if you like this video and you like what's being put out, share it, like it, and subscribe to the channel so we can keep this in the YouTube algorithm, because I can't seem to figure that out. And if you guys help me push it along, it's going to help everybody in the long run. Today's daily reflection for 16 January 2021, hitting bottom. And that is something all of us, unfortunately, will experience one time or another, even if you're an alcoholic or not. Let's go. All right, folks. Let's get it. Why all the insistence that every AA must hit bottom first? The answer is that a few people would sincerely try to practice the AA program unless they have hit bottom. For practicing AA's remaining 11 steps means the adoption of attitudes and actions that almost no alcoholic who is still drinking can dream of taking. 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 24. Hitting bottom opened my mind and I became willing to try something different. What I tried was AA. My new life in the fellowship was a little like learning how to ride a bike for the first time. AA became my training wheels and my supporting hand. It's not that I wanted the help so much at the time. I simply did not want to hurt like that again. My desire to avoid hitting bottom again was more powerful than my desire to drink. In the beginning, that was what kept me sober, but after a while I found myself working the steps to the best of my ability. I soon realized that my attitudes and actions were changing, if ever so slightly. One day at a time. I became comfortable with myself and others, and my hurting started to heal. Thank God for the training wheels and supporting hand that I choose to call Alcoholics Anonymous. If this, Alcoholics Anonymous, is not what you dig and not what works for you, that's alright, because this whole sentiment applies in everybody's life who is an addict or an alcoholic. And the adoption that you don't want to be in the place that you used to be is something that can be very beneficial for your recovery or your sobriety. Let me put it this way, folks. When I hit rock bottom, and I mean I hit rock bottom, I thought my life was completely over, and I thought that why not? F it. I'm just going to kill myself because this is not working anymore. And I talked a little bit about this yesterday. My bottom came at a time when I thought it couldn't get any worse, and it absolutely did. When I was laying bloody on a floor, and all I wanted to do was get a drink to stop the pain, and all I wanted to do was end it all so the pain would stop completely. The ironic part of it, folks, is that I caused all the pain. I caused all the hurt. And I said yesterday that if I play the movie forward, and I get to the end of the movie, and it's the same as it used to be, why would I want to keep watching that movie? I used that on a response in Reddit because somebody was going through some things, and they couldn't seem to stop drinking regardless if, they tried to get rid of their alcohol or they tried to get rid of their drugs, or it was a little bit of both. And they always seem to find a way to get it again, and they always seem to find a way to be drunk or high again. My response to that was, if I play my movie forward and it still looks like a daggone horror film, a slasher movie, I certainly don't want to watch it again. And I did a lot of self-hurt and a lot of self-harm and a lot of, self-induced, like, violent thoughts and everything else, that if I drink again, that's going to be the same result. And what's insanity? Right? The definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over and over, and you get the same result. So as we move through our insanity as alcoholics and addicts, there's no other term. And for me, going to Alcoholics Anonymous and working that program, it saved my life and it keeps me on the rails and everything else. And if some of you heard rails a little bit different, erase that and rewind and push that button to hear what it really means. I derailed my life and I derailed everything about it. And, you know, I just don't want that anymore. And I know a lot of you out there can relate to that. And a lot of active alcoholics and addicts are questioning the same daggone thing. Do I want this anymore? No, I don't. But how do I stop it? How do you stop it is you have to take action, and I had to commit to the fact that everything is going to be the same if I ever do it again. And I don't want what it used to be anymore. So for me, it's a simple yes, only because I've reached a point in my sobriety that there's no fog in there. There's no question of, do I want this or do I want that? I know exactly what I want, and I want what I have. I don't know if that makes any sense for you. Drop a comment below. And if you want to see me say it different or hear something different, drop that too. Because, I mean, this isn't everybody's cup of tea, but let's find a way to make it work for you. And I'm digesting. Yes. By the way, as I read this, that job interview went awesomely. And I think that, you know, I probably will get it. That's pretty cool. My desire to avoid hitting bottom again was more powerful than my desire to drink. And that's exactly what I'm talking about, folks. Everybody's bottom is a little bit different. It truly is. Hopefully you don't have to hit the bottom that I hit. I'm sorry. I'd been drinking for several weeks, like consistently, nonstop. From the moment I woke up till the moment I passed out or got arrested or whatever. And I found myself one day on the floor, and I guess I was in a blackout, and I came out from that blackout and I was full of blood and I was knockish. I was naked. I didn't have any clothes on. I was in my apartment, thankfully. As I was sitting there, hearing these voices compounding, telling me, drink more, if you don't, we're coming after you. And some of you have heard this before. These voices were pretty convincing, and they really wanted to lead me only to one place. And they being all of the things in my head that were going on, the resentments, the guilt, the shame, everything was spiraling into a soup that I didn't think that I was going to be able to eat anymore. How's that for an analogy? And, you know, the only way that I could think to stop these voices and to stop the noise and everything else and the silence that was so deafening and so loud and loneliness was to jump out of a window. Well, the windows in my apartment didn't fully open. They opened like halfway, so you know, there's only one option. That's to go completely through it. I was about 2 steps from it, folks. I really was. And I was about to take that plunge. And this is going to sound stupid, and I've said this before. I was about to take that plunge, and something said to me, don't do it, man. Not today. There's something better waiting for you. And I thought to myself, I thought there can't be anything left for me. I've destroyed everything. I've destroyed all the relationships. I've destroyed any kind of human connection that I had. I was isolated to the point where I didn't even leave my apartment except to hunt for more alcohol and more racks of beer and everything else. And even that got to a point where I didn't leave the apartment, folks. And actually, I would order about 30 22-ounce beers. And in Germany, you can do that, man. And you can also get a beer delivery guy. I'm not endorsing it. I'm just saying. So there I was. And all these things were going on, you know. And I truly was at that point. And that voice came to me. And I later learned that was my higher power working through me. And for me, it's God, folks. I don't know what it is for you, but for me, that's what it was. And, you know, I'm not a religious person. I'm more of I have spirituality. I do. I meditate, and I do thank my higher power for my sobriety. But it was at that moment that I truly was at my bottom, and so many things had happened way before this that it should have been my bottoms, but it wasn't. This was. I didn't have my son anymore. I didn't have my wife anymore. I didn't have the trust of my colleagues anymore. I didn't have anything except for the drink, and the drink was still trying to control the way I was thinking and processing and everything else. And so I was about to do that, and that voice said, "Not today, man. There's something else good for you." And yeah, as I loathed myself just a little bit more, that was pretty much my largest turning point. And I definitely wouldn't be here, folks, if it wasn't for that. And hitting that bottom, you know, AA was like, you know, learning how to ride a bike. You know, I got the training wheels in my support system, and through Alcoholics Anonymous, you know, the seal of that says recovery, unity, and service. And those are the legs that the AA program stands on. If that's not for you, I get it, but I'm just one sober to another, man. I'm one sober talking to another person, and I'm just telling you guys that that's what it was for me. And I get a little solemn, and I'm not over exaggerated and everything else, and I do want to learn the way to get YouTube to show this more, but I don't know. It's not the biggest importance. The biggest importance is you guys, and that's no poppycock. That's absolutely certain. Those who do support the channel, man, you guys are awesome, and I appreciate the comments and support, and I hope that what I'm putting out here is helping you guys, because that's really what it's all about, folks. So, you know, ever so slightly, I learned to realize that my attitudes and actions were changing. The way I felt about alcohol and the way I felt about, you know, being self-serving and selfish and everything else all started to change. And, you know, I learned that alcohol was a poison that was poisoning my mind, next. And then it was damaging the organs in my body. I also learned that the way that I would be of service to people would be more helpful than anything that I ever did for self-gratification. And the fact that I can use YouTube in order to push this out to you guys is a whole nother fashion of, you know, my recovery efforts and the things that helps keep me sober by trying to help you get sober or keep you sober, just with a little insight on what I went through in order to get there. And I am grateful for this little book, The Daily Reflections, and also the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous and the fellowship and all that stuff. And if you guys don't have that kind of support system, man, reach out to me on Instagram, Reddit, or Twitter. There's a lot more that I could talk about with this, but I don't want to bore you any more than this. And, you know, I'm truly grateful, folks. And that's today's daily reflection. I hope that's something to chew on. I hope I wasn't too solemn for you. I hope that, you know, you guys are doing all right and life is treating you well. If it's not, folks, please reach out to me. I will definitely do my best to be a little support for you, and if not, just give you a little more insight one-on-one. And if you want to be a part of the channel, just let me know. Hit that subscribe button, notification bell, and also drop a like so this video stays in circulation. Life's a garden. Dig it, folks. Guess what? I'm going to see you in just about a minute so we can talk about my lump sum of money. See you later.